This is Glenn Healy.
Hi, this is Braden Holtby.
This is Daryl Sutter.
Hi, this is Brian Burke.
This is Jordan Tutu.
This is Keith Morrison.
This is Kelly Rudy.
Hi, this is Scott Hartnell.
Hey, everybody. My name is Steele Fleury.
This is Tim McAuliffe of Sportsnet, and you're listening to the Sean Newman Podcast.
Welcome to the podcast, folks. Happy Wednesday. I hope everybody's having a great hump day. This week is speeding along, and, Friday we're leaving for this Bike for Breakfast road trip to Tufnell, Saskatchewan to go see a good friend, weirdly enough, through the podcast, Mr. Quick Dick McDick. And here today we're gonna start to break down part one of the group that's going and the group that has been helping put this all together. But before we get there, let's get to our sponsors. Jim Spenrath and the team over at Three Trees Tap and Kitchen. If you follow them on social media, you can win gift cards each week, and it's just as simple as following what they do. If you're in there this week, all the way until June 6th, so when this bike ride ends, if you get a beef dip, all the proceeds are going to Bike for Breakfast. If you buy a growler, all the proceeds are going to Bike for Breakfast. So huge shout out to Jim Spenrath and the team over at Three Trees hopping aboard and letting us have some fun with them. I mean, beef dip was fantastic. Believe me, I sunk my teeth into one of those. And of course, I talk about the growlers. Go get your Fourth Meridian or Ribstone Creek, or a whole bunch of different, anything on tap they got there. All the proceeds coming, once again, back to Bike for Breakfast. For a reservation, make sure you give them a call, 780-874-7625. T-Bar One Transport since 2002. For more than 19 years, the team at T-Bar has offered excellent service, putting the community first. And, well, one of the ways they're putting it first, I was already there earlier today, they gave us the pilot truck. And so, without question, now we got the pilot truck. We're meeting and getting it figured out and situated for this road trip, how we're going to fit, the 9 bikes in this thing and everything else. And truly do appreciate the support from T-Bar. They are located in both Lloydminster and Bonnyville, and they can cover all your heavy haul needs. In their fleet, they have tank movers, 45-ton pickers, 1-tons flat decks, Texas bed, winch truck, and highway tractors. And for all your heavy haul needs, give them a call, T-Bar 1-780-205-1709. Jen Gilbert and the team for over 45 years, since 1976. The dedicated realtors of Coldwell Banker Cityside Realty have served Lloydminster and the surrounding area. Star Power is what they provide, giving their clients 7-day-a-week access. They know service is a priority, well, because we all know big life decisions aren't made during office hours. And I got to give a big shout out to Jen and the team over at Coldwell too. They hopped on board Bike for Breakfast, stroking us a check, which has been, that's what this has been all about, trying to raise some money for the kids' breakfast programs here in the school district of Lloyd Public Catholic, and then 57-kilometer radius of Lloydminster. So it's been really cool to have Coldwell Banker do what they always do. They support local, they support our community, and we see that every time a new event comes up. The list just goes on and on of everything that they truly get behind, and that's everything here in this community. And they know home is truly where the awesomeness happens, so give them a call, Coldwell Banker, Cityside Realty, for everything real estate, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 780-875-3343. Mac Construction, they've been doing business locally for 12 years with over 100 homes completed. Mac Construction is a design-build, custom home building operation that has specialized in constructing custom homes, cottages, and RTMs throughout Lloydminster and community since 2008. In addition to custom home building, Mac Construction does extensive renovations to residences and light commercial work. If you're looking to build your dream house, head no further. Go to macconstruction.ca and get involved with that team, all right? HSI Group, they're the local oil field burners and combustion experts that can help make sure you have a compliant system working for you. The team also offers security, surveillance, and automation products for residential, commercial, livestock, and agricultural applications. I always talk about the fob access to the doors here. It's caught me a couple times where it's just been absolutely pouring rain. A nice quick swipe, you're in the building. Another one that I've heard a lot about is, just the ease or the peace of mind with being away from your house and having the access off your cell phone with their security system, so you can make sure, everything's okay at home. Or maybe you got animals or dogs, and they're outside or they're inside, like it's just a peace of mind thing. And that's what they use technology to do. They give you peace of mind so you can focus on the things that truly matter, like sitting at the lake, cracking a cold Pilsner. That's just me. So stop in today, 3902 52nd Street, or give Brody or Kim a call at 306-825-6310. And if you're looking for the SNP billboard, it is across down by the airport now. I got to give a shout out to Read and Write for making my outdoor signage look just superb. And if you're looking for outdoor signage, give the team over at Read and Write a call. Maybe bug Mrs. Deanna Wanler, 306-825-5111. And finally, the host of the podcast, Gartner Management, is a Lloydminster-based company specializing in all types of rental properties to help meet your needs. Whether you're looking for a small office, a 6,000 square foot commercial space, give Mr. Wade a call. Mr. Wade Gartner a call, that is. 780-808-5025. And if you're heading into any of these businesses, make sure you let them know you heard about them right from here, all right? Let's get on to the T-Bar 1 tail of the tape. Hockey coach, school teacher, and a professor. Buckle up. Here we go.
Have you played hockey?
Yeah, I used to play. Not well. I just suck skating backwards crossovers. I was scared of hitting my head.
Next year we can hit the oval. Maybe
Let's
we'll
do
do
it.
like a winter bike for breakfast event.
500 laps.
Watch Nekky skate backwards crossovers.
My highlight of the career is the student prof hockey game in dental school. Scored the goal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did
All
you raise
need
the
is one.
Did you raise the puck?
What?
Did you raise it?
No.
I just scooted mine on the ground.
That's
No,
right.
yeah, that's all I
They
could
never
do.
suspected. They always suspect.
Yeah.
Top
They
Yeah.
don't.
Nope.
They don't
Went
ask.
five
Yeah.
hole
Yeah.
on the ice.
They don't ask how.
Don't
They ask
expect
how
that
many.
shit.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sneak attack.
Retiring
Bringing
style.
in the American recruit. Give me the lefty.
This is the crew that's going biking. This is going to be fun. Like I'm honestly wondering if I could like hook some mics up in the bus and we could just sit and chat the entire time and what that would look like and if I could feasibly
I think
do
that'd
that.
be great.
Well, we'll take a look.
We'll see. We'll see what we can do.
I'm not against it, right?
Just
Like,
record on your phone.
or just have a couple mics hooked
Nigel,
up
I
right
can
at the
raise my
start.
arms this high now, so that's good.
So I got three people in the studio tonight with me, and I'm just gonna let that start us out because I think it's great. I think it gives a good feel. So don't feel like you got to wait for your turn. You want to hop in. We got people who've been cycling all day for another fun part of the fundraiser. You got people who can't raise their arms because they were doing WODs or Murphs or what.
A little bit of everything going on. Yeah.
We've had some biking. We've had some working out. Some spin.
Well, let's go around. Everybody knows my voice by now, but let's start this way. Introduce yourself. We'll start with Nekky. Your name, occupation, and years you've been cycling.
My name is Nekky Jamal. I'm a dentist here in town. And the last time I went on a bicycle was on my way to the zoo in second year university. I used to work at the zoo, the gates.
You worked at the zoo?
Oh, yeah. Man, no, I wouldn't let anyone
What
in.
did
That
you
was
do
good.
there?
I was the gatekeeper. Like, someone... Man, I remember that. It was $11 an hour. I thought I hit the
That was
jackpot.
completely unexpected.
Yeah.
That's
But,
awesome.
yeah, and so I used to ride my bike every day. That was second year university, and then I haven't ridden a bike since. But so 0 years cycling, actual cycling. But I've owned a bicycle when I was younger. So
Did you say what you do in town?
oh, I'm a dentist.
Now, just to hop on that, Nige, can you tell the story of Nekky at like our second meeting?
Well, I for sure thought that he was like the cycling king. Like I thought he was the man of cycling. Tall guy, talked about a bike, and then absolutely blown away on the fact that he only cycles in his basement. And never rode it outside. So or went. I guess at that time it was went for one spin outside. I think or something around the block.
Yeah,
Maybe.
no,
I don't think so.
I didn't know how to clip in.
I think his
It was on the trainer. You
Yeah.
hadn't taken
and
it
his
off the
and
trainer
his
yet.
tire
Yeah.
was flat.
Yeah, the tire was flat the whole time. But I didn't know how to put the shoe in the proper pedal, and like without it, like locking in, and then you fall outside. So
The
was
reason
too
I bring
scared.
this up is like this should give you a good feel for what the group is like, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the group. Since you've signed on to this, how many K you think you've what's the farthest you've gone in a day now on the road?
I'd say the farthest I've gone was about 55 to 60K. No, 65K. 65K, that's what it was. How far did we go that day, Nat? It was 60. 60, man, that was a long day. But it was fun. And Natalie and I did that one together with Mikey and Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was cool.
How about you, Nat? You want to introduce yourself to the group?
Yeah, I'm Natalie Wiebe. I teach phys ed and wellness at Lloydminster Comprehensive High School. Year cycling since April 3rd, or after our first meeting. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I go back to some of the early conversations, Nigel on Nekky. I'll go back to Natalie when you were like petrified to leave your block, your cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to go out there. And we're just like, get out there. It'll be okay.
Yes, and very true to when this all happened. Like, I'm very much an impulsive person. My first ride, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stay in the neighborhood, just going to kind of get a feel for it. I'm like, you know what? I'm already out. Might as well just hit Highway 17 and just in for a dime, in for a dollar. Let's do this. So that's kind of...
You remember, Nick, the first meeting? It was me, you, her, Natalie, and Ken Rutherford. Yeah. And she goes, let's just do the four of us. We can do this. And I'm like, doing the math in my head. I'm like, you sure you want to do this, Natalie? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm a kind of, you jump like all the way in and then you just figure it out as you go kind of person. So serves me well in a lot of areas of my life, but yeah.
I remember Sean and I were kind of team you down a little bit because you're like, man, I can do 250 right now.
Little did I know, because the furthest ride that we did was 60, and honestly, I got home that night. It took a long time to recover from that.
Yeah.
So
in your head, it doesn't seem that hard.
It doesn't.
Your butt took a long time to recover,
just
or
legs,
your body?
Legs. I feel like fatigue in your legs all the time, and then we climbed the hills and
Scariest is going down the hills.
No.
Oh God.
Well, let's get to Nigel and his thoughts on hills, because if you're going to climb it, you might as well ride it down, and that's the fun part. Now, Nigel, you are this is your third time, I think, on the podcast, so you're no stranger to this room. Well, not this room specifically, but maybe introduce yourself and what you're doing, occupation, years cycling.
Yeah, Nigel Dube with the Bobcats, GM and head coach, and years cycling. I've actually always kind of like biked. We grew up biking, small town, 500 people. You had to ride your bike everywhere, school, home for lunch, and everything like that. So biking, I've always kind of been around biking. I don't think anything distance-wise was my biking. Had a bike, but getting into this thing and now enjoying it too. So it's been fun.
Do you enjoy going down the hills? Because everybody seems to be nervous about going down the hill.
Yeah, I think you really got to going up it and you got to find your groove going up. There's no doubt going up it. Going down, it's definitely eyes on the prize, because little potholes are world's biggest potholes when you're on a bike. But I think it's kind of fun, like, to see how fast you can get going, especially now, like when they got the little speedometer on it. And you're going halfway down the hill, and you're trying to push it a little bit further and stuff. So, but then you do have a thought once in a while that comes through your head of the what if, what happens if a gopher tries to run across the road is a big question. But
you hit it and you carry on.
Yeah. Is that what you do?
I would be I feel like I might try and swerve and avoid it. Yeah. I would be the one that's like off. Yeah. That's something else for me to think about here. And think about wildlife going across the street.
Yeah, there's so many things like that you don't think about. It's like when you're riding and then you're clipped in, and what happens if a dog chases you when you go by a farm and stuff, like just stuff that you would never think about before. And
you keep biking. That has happened to me.
Going,
yeah. What are you gonna do? So try and beat them off and carry on. Have you? How have you three found it? Well, let's do this. I kind of want to tell the origin story of this, because most people by now have read the paper or seen an interview or heard you guys were on the GOAT. I'm pointing at Nigel, and we had prime time out there the other day and everything else. But Nigel was the fifth or sixth person. I had the list actually, and you're fifth or sixth on it. But three of us here were very early stages to the conversation that went here. April 1st, Nekky and me sat in here and had a beer, and Nekky was the ultimate cyclist. Yeah, I'm doing it. Right?
Because it's easy, right?
Yeah. But I thought maybe we could just kind of lead the audience through, and anyone can feel free to hop in, because, we've been meeting now. It'll be 2 solid months by the time we hop on a bike, which for most things, most big events, is a very short window. And this has certainly felt like a short window, but April 1st feels like a lifetime ago. Mm-hmm. Like, I spent the weekend at the lake, and everybody in this room knows I just need a break. I just want to go hang out with the kids and deal with that mental stress of a 1-year-old running down the hill, chasing gophers, sticking his arm in a gopher hole this weekend, and the gopher coming out and scaring the bejesus out of him. That was pretty funny. It was good. But maybe we'll start with Neck, and by all means, all of us feel free to just hop in, and we'll see what the story looks like from Necky's eyes.
For me, it started with a cryptic text from Sean saying, meet me here at this time. And I didn't know Sean very well at all. Like he's been a patient at the office, but I didn't know him at all. And I didn't know I was coming to a podcast studio. That's for sure. I thought he was going to, I don't even know. He was going to beat me behind a bush for not giving enough freezing or something. I don't know. And he spoke to me about his wife and teaching in Lashburn and how kids just come to school and they don't have enough food. And that really, it strikes a chord with anyone. Hey, Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, as, someone in the community who just wants to help. And I think anyone, if you would have asked any other person in the community, they would have jumped on board as well. And so in all honesty, that was probably the best, this whole thing has been the best thing to ever happen to me in the last year, because COVID sucks. And this is really taken a whole new spin on COVID and like look at what we can do during COVID.
I think that came up in our first meeting too, about like how when something comes together like that, and it feels so good. Like it was happy and exciting, and it felt like there was something to look forward to. Totally. When the whole year before has just kind of felt the same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
so I do remember saying that, like it just felt good and exciting for sure.
Totally. Yeah. And I remember calling Nat the next day, and Sean was like, well, do you know anyone who would be like, crazy enough to do this? And like I said, I haven't even ridden a bike in a long time.
Well, and I should preface that. I knew Mikey Dubs will no doubt listen to this. And Mikey Dubs is probably kicking himself, but I actually appreciate that in the long run, he didn't say, yeah, I'm totally down. Because if I'd gotten Mikey Dubs in this, then we would have got a bunch of people that had, this would be a cakewalk, so to speak, right? Like 10 of them coming out of the woodworks. Oh yeah, 1,000K. We do that every second weekend. Boom, done. What's cool about this group is honestly, like nobody, all very green to the challenge, which is really cool to see, and see so many people like just hop on and just be like, yeah, Nigel, you were 5th or 6th text in of people just saying yes. Okay,
yeah, I think
when
we
do
were
go?
texting you that night that we were our first meeting. And we said, they're like, who can you think of? And we're like, I think Nigel would do it.
Yeah,
well, I remember that because I got Sean, do you want to do something for the community? I said sure, yeah, I'm in. And then Nat sent a text. It just said say yes to Sean, and then kind of got the go about it. And then I remember making the one phone call kind of on behalf when the original planning was getting some things set up, and I was way off on what was actually happening. I thought we were just going 500K one way, and then next thing you know, we're going there and back, and it all came together. But it's pretty cool too to see everybody come together and get to know people too. I think I've ran into Ken multiple times now that I've maybe did before and didn't know him, and now it's like see him every second day. I feel
it's
like
been great. It's such an eclectic
so.
group of people, but such a great. And even like. You hang out with Chris, I know you, but we've also been able to have conversations that you get to know people a lot better. And I think that's been so great. You walk out of here with a whole new friend group that we wouldn't have met otherwise, given that we hadn't done this. So
I feel like this is like going to be like summer camp. Like we're going to have we already have these 10 good friends, but then we're going to get on that bus and we're just going to become family. Then we're going to get off that bus and we're all going to shed a tear, and it's never going to be the same again, right? I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I'll mirror you a little bit. Walking into this, I certainly didn't know. I knew of all of you, but nobody that good. Nigel and I have had a couple of conversations and certainly done a little bit of work here and there together. And him being a hockey guy makes him right in my wheelhouse, so to speak. But overall, doing it in such a short time frame, really putting the pressure on all of us and seeing what we're all made out of, has been really cool to watch a group dynamic. Because I think, by the time it won't be but it will be. By the time this comes out, we'll be at 200K.
Yeah.
Like, think about that.
So great.
And that's honestly, we met a little under 2 months ago, but we didn't really start fundraising until May 1st, last week of April.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool to live, to be surrounded by this group, but 2, to live in this community and have them rally around a really, like, how many times have you been asked about Tufnell? What the hell is in Tufnell?
Yeah. It's actually quite smart, Sean. When you pitched the idea of Tufnell, and same question I said, what's Tufnell? Where is Tufnell? And it's just, it's just odd enough that everyone asks that question. And why Tufnell? And it opens the whole conversation. It's actually smart. Genius, actually.
I don't know if
anyone's
anyone's used
marketing.
Might have to clip that out, eh?
Genius.
Did you say genius? Well, I don't want to hold this up all night. I had a couple of quick questions that I think, and maybe after we're done, we'll be able to come back on and talk a little bit better to them. But what are you most excited for?
Well, I'd go with excited, obviously, for the great things happening for the kids. But on the trip, I think the variables that might happen along this trip, and again, we talk about the team and bringing people together and getting to know each other. I think we're going to find a whole new thing of how to motivate each other and be support groups and be cheerleaders and do everything like that in a 48-hour window potentially. And I think that's going to be pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and it goes back to, that's a pretty exciting thing. I've been jacked up for like the last month, and I haven't had that. We go talk about that. I haven't had that, and I'm like, everything right now to me is just like, this is awesome. Like, life's great. Life's great. Good things
I feel
are
like in the
happening.
last month too, like with our event at 4th Meridian and today at Pure Vibe, and just all these things that you talk to so many people in the community, and you have this opportunity where it just feels, everything feels so good and happy and exciting. And I think that so many people are looking for that. 4th Meridian was an incredible event, and it was so awesome to hear live music and see people interacting, and it just was so great. So it has definitely filled our cups for sure.
Yeah, the comment I heard about that night was that it was filling people's souls up, or like restoring the soul, because COVID's been a really weird year, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just been a really weird year. And that night was, I don't know, special. If this thing was nothing else and it just led up to that night, I think it'd be a success.
Legit, when they started playing live music.
Yeah.
I think I said, like, I feel like life is being breathed back into my soul.
Yeah.
Totally. I find that if anything, the last 2 months, like, I think we're always searching for that purpose in our life. And COVID's taken that a lot of that away from us. But like, within the 9 of us here, it's really filled our souls with purpose. And I think that's the fire behind all of us right now. Is we have a common goal. We're gonna achieve it. We're gonna kill it, and then we're gonna cry on each other's shoulders while we're doing it. But it's gonna be all for a purpose, and I'm excited for that.
With hockey, you know, playoffs is a time, and we got playoffs going on tonight. When you get the pressure put on you and you're the pressure cooker, so to speak, you learn about everybody. Like, we all know a little bit about each other right now, a hell of a lot more than 2 months ago. You get on that bus and you got nowhere to go but get your butt on a bike and bike till we get there and get back, no matter what the world throws at us. You don't see that out of 99.9% of people unless you're on a team or you're married to them. Probably family. Right? Like,
Absolutely.
You're going to see some things. So this is a very unique opportunity, especially in a COVID year where things, the bus has to be done, and we couldn't have done it different ways, because next year, I don't know if we're going to do the bus thing. Maybe we will. I have no idea. We got to get through this year. But this is a very unique opportunity to see what people are made of. And that'll be a lot of fun, because anytime you get in the pressure cooker, good things come out of that.
Well, that's I think, we're gonna find ways to motivate each other, and I think there's gonna be different things happen through the trip of sleep and whatever it may be. But again, there's everybody has that common purpose, a common goal. I think that you just rally around that, right? And it comes back to that team, and Nekky will be crying, and the family thinks so. It'll be all good.
One of the fundraisers we forgot to mention was 3 Trees, eating some beef dips. That was a fun night too.
That was fun.
That was super fun.
My kids loved that. We came home, and probably 3 days after, they were like, that was the best night. Got to go eat a beef dip in a restaurant, because we haven't sat down in a restaurant, and they got to sit down with their friends Ben and Reese, and Lots of fun.
Yeah, that was awesome. Jim at Three Trees really came through, and I've been texting him a bit, and he's been saying a lot of people have been coming in and buying those beef dips.
Awesome.
So that's good.
I don't know what it was about me biting into a sandwich, but that really struck a chord with some people because I keep getting texts of how much I'm enjoying the sandwich, of like my eyes and stuff. I'm like, all right. And I've had a couple of like people that I wouldn't think follow me, like friends, parents that I don't think follow the podcast. I have no idea if they're on social media. And I've said, oh, I heard if we go to Three Trees and we buy a beef dip, the proceeds go to you. I'm like, yeah. Geez, that's some pretty good marketing.
Yeah.
Like, honestly. I give kudos to a lot of the folks around me for that, one of you being Nick, because I would have never thought, how much did I fight you on going there? Like, just let's just bike. Can we just bike? I'm ready to bike. I'm ready to bike, Nigel. That's me. What are you most nervous for? Like, what's the one thing? Is it just like the anticipation of the event? Or is there some other thing that's just got you a little bit like, until we get there, I don't know. And we'll start on the opposite side. Nick, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm nervous for 3 a.m. No one slept. It's windy. It's rainy. Now what?
When you're tired.
When we're tired. And like Nigel was telling me, he's like, man, I don't sleep on a bus. I'm like, well, 48 hours into it, I hope you get a couple hours of sleep here and there. But with us all being novices, I don't know what that looks like. I was telling you, I've never been on a bus longer than 3 hours. Like, I don't know.
I honestly took it for granted that when we're taking a bus, you know what to pack, right? Like, how many of us in Canada, in Lloydminster, like, oh man, I'm going to take this and this and this. You probably got it stored down in the basement. Like, here's my bus pack, right? Like, like
what?
Ken Rutherford, he's like, well, I'll bring out my big foamy. I'm just going to lay it on the floor, and I'm just sleeping on the floor. And I'm like, oh, yeah, and I wish I had one of those. But, yeah, I could probably go grab one of those, too. Necky's, like, staring at me like, oh, what now? And I'm like, well, have you never slept on a bus before?
You're bringing a sleeping bag? I didn't even thought of that. That's genius.
Yeah. And as many pillows as you can throw, because you might as well have more comfort than not enough.
You guys are going to bring your backpack with a couple pairs of boxers, and then we get to go.
But you make this...
What?
Toothbrush and deodorant.
Yeah. I'll supply the toothbrushes. I'll be the official toothbrush supplier of the event.
Perfect. That's hilarious.
So what do you... Oh, so you're worried about 3 a.m. All right. Okay. Fair.
I think I would mirror that.
Yeah.
Fatigue, like when you get to a point, like at least like these rides that we've been doing 40, 50, 60K, like where the end is. And obviously we know that we're going there and back, but I think that I know that you get to a certain point and you hit a wall.
Yeah.
So it's going to be how to figure out how to get through that. Like when I ran a marathon, someone said you're going to hit a point where you'll know, and it's around like 18 and a half miles. And sure enough, like come 18 and a half miles, it was just like, okay, but you're already that far. So what do? You just got to keep going. So I think that's my biggest thing is when you're so fatigued and you're tired and whatever, how you're going to push through the wall, because the wall will be there for sure.
I'm gonna go with the wind, and in the 2 months of biking or the 6 weeks of biking, maybe, and hopefully it's just around Lloydminster, but I've had like one tailwind, like one the whole time, and it feels like you can go 4 different directions and you're biking into the wind every time. But at the same time, I think that's an exciting thing, because if that is, and we're obviously working towards getting back, and in a time frame too that we'll have to push through it, but. I'm just gonna hope for some good weather.
Yeah, I don't know if the nervousness is go back to what you said, Nat, about all the rides we've been doing. You're kind of on like not a leash, but you're close to home. Like you can feel home. You're always close to home. Something goes wrong, you make a phone call, boom, whoever's there pick you up. You're home. You're nice and safe. When you got to go 500 kilometers away from here through the night and everything, we're going to rely on ourselves to figure out what's going on. And don't get me wrong, we're still very close to civilization. We still have a cell phone or many cell phones to make calls and figure out if things hopefully don't go the wrong way. But, simple things can happen. A bus breaks down. How do you solve that, right? And we're going to have to figure that out as we go along. But nobody can prepare for everything, because how's that possible? So the unknown is is always the thing that boggles my brain. It's just like I got this nervous energy until I get on the bike once and go, oh, right, I can ride a bike. It's okay. And oh, there's a little bit of wind, or there is no wind, or I'm really, I hate the wind. But the sun could kill us too in a different way if it's plus 30. Like, you'll be begging for the night. And I am extremely excited. We should do like tomorrow night or something. We should go for like 11 at night ride. Just see what it feels like. Because the coolness, the calmness, it'll be a different experience for your senses. And I've only ever ridden at dark once at like midnight trying to catch a ferry in Nova Scotia. And that was different.
Well, it's going to be interesting, too, if we get some 30-degree weather and then we're cycling in out of the bus without a shower.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit of a sweat storm and a smell storm coming that way, too.
Yeah, no. I'm also scared of, like, I remember when I was riding my bike, to the zoo, and I was late for work one day. But it was raining hard, and I hit my brakes, and I slid. And I went right backwards, and my head smoked the pavement, and I cracked my helmet in half. And I think that's every time I see the rain, and I'm talking about the rain, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to hit my brakes. It's going to freak me out. I don't want to fall. And it's funny because now to this day, whenever I see a kid ride by my house, I always chase after him, like, put on your helmet. Don't you know these things save your life? And
you should save that helmet so you can show people.
I should. This could be your head.
Yeah.
Final one, and I haven't figured this out. What are we tossing a bet on? So, like, I have it on hours. The whiteboard hasn't left here. I just realized the whiteboard hasn't left since that first night.
I thought you redid that for this.
No, it literally has sat there since we did it.
I've yet to look at a Google map of exactly
where
road.
we're going.
I've been taking your word for it this whole time.
I can't wait to interview quick because, like, literally there is an entourage coming to Tufnell, Saskatchewan to do an interview in, I believe it's the curling rink. Does it get any more small town Saskatchewan than that?
Well, it's crazy. My buddy in North Dakota texts me, and he's like, you're going to Tufnell, make sure to say hi to Quick Dick McDick. And I'm like, that's why we're going there. And he's a farmer, right? So he listens to all that kind of stuff, and he's like, that's exactly why we're going to Tufnell. Yeah. And I would have never thought that was the case, but Steve's like, yeah, make sure you say hi. I'm like, yeah, that's the purpose, that there's a reason to Tufnell. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. If you're looking for how many hours?
I'm before you're the first group. So what is the bet? We tossing $20 in, and we tossing a shotgun at the end of that. Like, I don't know. Like, what are we doing here?
Ooh.
Someone's going to bring beer on the bus, right?
No. No beer on the bus.
Yeah, Nekky, you look like you got
beer
ideas
at
over
4th
there.
Meridian when we're done is what Brad told me.
That's what I'm looking forward to. That's for sure. I think it's gonna.
But wait. Before we say hours, what are we betting? We toss some money in on this? Or we just pride?
Money. Let's do money.
$20 a person.
Then it goes back to the.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
$20.
$20. And
hours to race or hours to ride.
Hours to there and back.
I think everyone is underestimating how long this is going to take.
Okay. Well, I'm writing it down here.
Okay. Well, how long do you say it's going to take?
I'm gonna be the optimist. I'm gonna say 48, even with the stop.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we're underestimating changeovers and time it takes to switch and headwind. And I bet you we don't come back till Monday 1 a.m.
So you listed every negative possible. Fair. Okay. Yeah. So Nekky, how many hours are you saying?
I like to call it realism.
You're talking about 5, 7, 8. So you're talking about 56 hours?
56, yeah.
All right.
That's my bet.
All right.
I'll go in between you guys. I'm going to say 52.
Ooh. Don't know when Price is Right me and...
No, we're not doing Price is Right rules. Closest to.
Yeah, that's a tough one because that bombs me. I was going to go...
You're the forever optimist, so...
Yeah, I go I'll be optimist. I'll go with 44 and a half hours.
Oh. You never asked Nigel how far he's ridden so far.
What did you say, 44 and a half?
Yeah. Let's go 44, 44.
44, 44.
Yeah.
So 44 hours and 44 minutes. There you go. Nigel, what's the longest you've done since starting this?
I did 100 kilometers one day, it was pretty cool. I went with Tracy. She did 75. I did 100, which was super cool. A lot of different things going through the head mentally, which was just a great challenge. Like, this has been so much fun for me as a whole to just been biking and look forward to something and doing all this other activity stuff. But so I did 100. I've been averaging probably close to 150 a week to 200 a couple weeks. So, but everything's different. Like, it's so different every time you go out. There hasn't been 2 rides I could tell you that were the exact same. Like, Friday night we went soaking wet, and we knew we were going to get wet.
We had side wind on Highway 17, headwind on 619, side wind on Range Road 20.
We full Talladega night and shake and bake and drafted each other for whatever that was, 14 kilometers.
I was telling them, I was like, you probably provided more of a windbreak than...
Yeah.
How was trying to draft behind Natalie?
Well, I was just trying to keep her on the ditch sometimes. she
I was very wobbly sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, just stay on the road, Nat. Stay on the road.
You told me to go more on the road. It's easier so you don't fall in the ditch. But I'm one of those like drivers, like if you turn your head, that's like the direction. Yeah.
Gotta look in the distance.
Yeah.
Well, here's to hoping, knock on wood, if you're out there, say a prayer, whatever you got for us, because in about 4.5 days, 5 days, we're on the road and off we go. By the time they hear this, it'll be Wednesday, so you're looking at like 2 days and we're on the road. And I know everybody's got like a little pent up energy, like everybody's excited about it. And the unknown is until you do it. I like the eternal optimist. I side with that, but you got to prepare for the Nekky Jamal too. So.
Okay.
I appreciate you guys all hopping in and entertaining me with this and coming along for this. Like, it's become as much your ride as this guy's ride over the last 2 months. Like, everybody's pulled so much weight in their capacity. It's been really cool to be a part of, just sitting in my seat.
The one thing I do have to say is that's been really cool too, and for you guys having this idea and going with it is seeing, like, clicking on the donation list and seeing where people are donating from. Like, some of our players' parents are donating from Vancouver. I got friends that don't even tell me that they're donating, and then you're clicking through and it's like they've donated. They're nowhere near Alberta, and that's just like cool to see again the good side of it, of that coming out. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's cool because I had a dentist from Toronto donate, and it's just cool that, like, no matter where you are, kids are kids, and every kid deserves to get food, and it really hits home when you see your friends care enough about your community, and I can talk about that all day, and just the whole community coming together behind this. Like, I don't think any of us thought it was going to blow up this bad. And it's amazing.
How many times I talk you off the ledge at about when we were at about 75 grand or maybe 52 grand. Me and Nekky had a lot of conversations. In fairness, the flip side, Nekky talked me off the ledge more times than I can count. So it's been a very interesting 2 months as we go along this thing. I mean, by the time this comes out, we'll be at 200K. Like, think about that. Yeah. Like, I don't even think my brain's processed it yet. And that's all of us in here pulling that off. That ain't one person. That ain't a group of 3 or a group of 5. That's been everybody. No. And we've got a pretty cool group here. And I'm curious to see how we do and how the bus is and what it smells like by the time we're back.
How many times Rudy gets played?
Cool runnings too.
Yeah. Bring all the motivational. Bring them all. All the motivational movies.
Awesome. Well, thanks guys for stopping in.
Thank you.
Thanks Sean.
Hey folks. Thanks for joining us today. If you just stumbled on the show, please click subscribe. Then scroll to the bottom and rate and leave a review. I promise it helps. Remember, every Monday and Wednesday, we will have a new guest sitting down to share their story. The Sean Newman Podcast is available for free on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever else you get your podcast fix. Until next time. Hey Keeners, hope you enjoyed the part 1 of Bike for Breakfast. We're going to have part 2 on Friday, June 4th, and then part 3 on Saturday, June 5th. And we do an interview with Quick Dick McDick on the Saturday. It'll come out Monday as episode 180. So there's going to be lots coming at you here over the next few days as we embark on our trip Friday. I hope you'll follow along. I put in the show notes how you can donate to the GoFundMe page if you're so inclined. If you don't want to, no big deal. As we're talking, it's been a whirlwind. This has been a really cool ride, and I appreciate everybody who's already donated or lent a hand in certain different ways, because there's been a ton of people that have really got behind this. I got to give a shout out to listener Mr. Lewis Stang and the Kinsman for dealing with all the money and the paperwork and all the jazz that I leave in his good hands, and he's going to lead us out. He's going to drive the pilot truck, I should say, follow us out on Friday and then on Sunday as well as we come back in. So a shout out to Lewis Stang for being a part of the group early on and encouraging what we're doing. To the rest of you, I hope you have a great week. Like I say, there will be an episode Friday, an episode Saturday, and then, of course, Monday. And they're all short, kind of quick hitters compared to what I normally do. So I hope you enjoy getting to know the crew that is going to Tufnell, Saskatchewan and back. And I look forward to catching up with you guys Friday, Saturday, Monday. For the rest of you, have a great week. And if you're the champ, I heard that maybe you got to wait a little longer to swing those golf clubs. So maybe just rest the wrist, big shooter. All right? We'll talk to you guys later.